Welcome to Insight Marketing Success, the podcast where marketing knowledge meets real-world experience, from vision to execution.
Hi, Jose. Welcome to IMS, Insight Marketing Success, where creative minds have real insights. So, Jose, thank you very much for being guest for IMS. I would like our audience to know who you are. Can you tell us who you are and your education and background?
Yes, of course. Ricardo, thank you. Appreciate the intro. So I'm Jose Benitez. I'm the founder of Renowyze, and I'm also owner of Digital Blueprint, a small web agency. I spent the last 10 years in the construction industry. I was part vendor, part GC, and most recently I led national renovation programs in multifamily, more on the vendor side. After seeing how projects kept stalling due to scattered systems, lack of real-time visibility, I decided to build something that actually solves the problem.
Awesome. So you are actually getting already on my next question. So, which is, the biggest marketing accomplishment you have faced, and how do you solve it? So tell us about, how you found the need and how did you go about solving it?
Yeah. So more importantly for what I'm doing with Renowyze, it's a platform that streamlines multifamily renovations, turns, and capex. I really saw the problems, the needs while being on that in the industry for the last decade, and then leaning into more of the multifamily while managing national level renovation rollouts across nationwide. So I think that's really what led me to do what I'm doing. And then as accomplished on the marketing side, I think I did while with Lowe's, it was a sales role, so I spent the last 6 years really pushing the product, pushing the systems, and really delivering on what my message, and actually executing. So I think part of that really aligned with marketing aspects to make sure that we're streamlined always with our clients, and then this was on a national level, so played a role with that. And aside from that, just really pushing a startup with zero to maybe $1 in no marketing budget when launching a startup. And I also went to school for marketing and advertising, so it's always been in the back of my mind. Although on the construction side and as a vendor, I never really stepped into pursuing marketing roles. But I think marketing is in everything we do, just as well as sales is. It's in everything we do. It's how we carry ourselves and how we sell on what we're doing. So I think that's really how I lean into the marketing side of my success.
So when we talked in the introductory meeting earlier, before this thing, you told me you were already in several states. How many states is Renowyze already in?
So we're currently in about 5 to 6 states right now.
Okay, 5 or 6 states. Awesome.
Which is not even scratching the surface, but we're getting there. It's we're currently a year in. I think probably more in January is when we fully launched. I mean, the first 6 months was really making sure the product was right. It's product market fit was a big thing. Making sure that we wanted to help everybody, but we have to understand why we got into it, and I think continuing to deliver on that message.
All right, good. Now, when you start launching from 0 to now 5, 6 states, and you have been working in sales, what is the campaign that really moved the needle for you?
I'm sorry, what is the middle
campaign? How did you get customers and acquire? How did you get your voice out? Your message.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of our marketing aspect right now is a lot of networking right now. Currently, we have a website, which actually I built the website too. So I built the website. I am our marketing. So it's just continuing to put ourselves out there. From networking and social media. I think a big avenue that I've learned in the last couple of years is LinkedIn actually has brought a lot of clients our way, or people asking questions, reaching out. A lot of that the bandwidth from there has really helped transpire kind of what we're doing. So continuing to deliver on my personal brand, which I think I need to do even better at it, because I think that's always really important, and connecting with individuals, even just like, connecting with you, Ricardo. I think, continuing to get on that and have those opportunities, until we get into the fun and have a real budget where we could actually put more into it.
So right now, up to this point in LinkedIn, it has been basically networking and trying to meet people, not really even paying for ads, right?
Yeah, from case studies, testimonials, some of that nature, putting it out there, and having interest come, once we launch a new post, or and then goes back to the website, we have a demo request. A lot of that, I mean, it's been not necessarily grassroots, but at a lower scale, our marketing, because we we're a startup. It's not like we have
Yeah.
a crazy budget. We launched last year, and then quite frankly, we have been probably operating above water since January. So a lot of that, I think we need to determine where it makes sense. So fortunately, from being in the industry and having a lot of that network, and understanding those pain points when I was working with some of those individuals, stepping into creating a prop tech product, it really helped, because I already knew the pain points. I already kind of knew how to address them. So it's a bootstrap project that is solving a lot of other projects.
Yeah. What role does the customer feedback play in the process of shaping your product?
I think because we're really focused on a specific area, right? So we saw the inefficiencies, we saw the chaos that lived when doing the renovations in multifamily. I've been in the field. I've seen great teams lose traction, not because they didn't care, but because nobody had a clear way to track what was happening or what needed to happen next. So I really lean into that, and their feedback is really important, because I've been in the field with a lot of those individuals, and I saw those inefficiencies. I saw the chaos. When something derailed, and the pointing the finger. So I was like, hey, we need to work together better. So with that in mind, I really lean on their feedback to continue perfecting the product, because the product is a product for them, and for them then on the field. The remote teams that need to see that, or need to have visibility. We understand the need, and so feedback on how things are going, and as our early customers, a lot of that was really important. So that making sure that we've gotten better, because I could tell you, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, even a month ago, we're growing every single day. So a lot of that is from feedback.
So, what marketing trend or channel are you most excited about right now, and why?
I think maybe the AI. I think thanks to ChatGPT, and a lot of that, has helped push our content, get more aligned content, obviously, because there's you got to find a balance between what you're using. But shout out to ChatGPT for that. So I think that's a big marketing trend, or at least AI marketing trend. A tool that I use. I use a couple other tools like Canva that help me create images. So really leaning into those kind of tools that help build the message better, and also help me brainstorm when I'm stuck. So I'm really into, and honestly, I'm pretty open to other tools, because I'm building the tool myself. So I truly get understanding that level of wanting to do something better, and make something more efficient.
I'm with you, man. And how these tools are helping is ridiculous. The efficiency and productivity for marketing staff is improving so much with those tools.
Yeah, and then because I know there's a talk of like AI is replacing people, but I don't think it's replacing people. I think it's helping people do their jobs better. And when used correctly, I think you could maximize on your opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. Just a note here. I was listening to NPR yesterday, and there was a musician who was talking about how AI was, composing music, and he then said, but when I use it as a tool, because I composed a little jingle, and
Yeah.
then AI was able to really. I said I want trumpets now, and it gave me options, and it's becoming a tool for him now. So I
Right.
think artists, as long as they change the perspective in their mind, like this is a tool for me to do better on what I do, I think that's the right approach for AI. It really is, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's a great example. I think it's really funny because I was really into the music era. In high school, I had like a home studio, and I recorded like some bands and tried. Yeah, I had like a home studio. I was like an audio engineer for in high school. So yeah, no, I think it's definitely I don't think it's replacing. I think within reason, of course, there's some tools that are probably if when abused, that's how it is. But I think when used correctly, and I really lean into that, using it correctly, making sure you're still on keeping you on your toes and doing what you need to do, but utilizing the tool to make your process simpler.
So if you were to encapsulate the benefits of Renowyze for a company who's going to renovate 10 apartments, how would you encapsulate? What would you tell them? What would be your summary message for them?
It's if I was to put it, like encapsulate it, like you said, it's really about exactly what we're doing and why we are or why we exist, because I was in walking these units. I was seeing, I was the one that was like frustrated, overwhelmed, and I could see where everyone else was frustrated and overwhelmed. So I really lean into creating that visibility, the structure, and keeping the forward momentum in a space that's usually stuck in spreadsheets, emails, scattered tools. It was really built for these owners, these renovation teams, and all these contractors and vendors to stay in line without the need to micromanage. Um, because updates are all centralized, everything's streamlined through the platform. So it's really cutting out the noise of, not putting pressure on the people, but at the same time holding them accountable. Because at the end of the day, I think that's the biggest thing. And at the same time, I was guilty of it. Just getting lost in so many different things that you're so overwhelmed to keep up with them. So it's just a more efficient way to do your job or to take care of these jobs. Because and if I was to encapsulate it, it'd be on the message and to lead with empathy, because I understanding the pain points of these teams that we're working with, and creating a solution that's actually addressing those pain points and not just throwing another software at them that it's just going to add more to their tool belt, and it's going to make things more complicated.
So let me try this. Would you say that Renowyze centralizes accountability? That's a question for you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said, would I say that Renowyze addresses accountability?
Centralizes accountability.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, because I mean, as I was thinking about Renowyze, right, and what it is, and you were talking about a spreadsheet, everything, but if you're centralized one point where everybody connects and the owners is able to see the progress and the process, and so if I was to encapsulate it, it would be a centralized accountability because you can see who did what and who didn't do what.
Exactly. No, I think if I was to say what we're doing out of everything, it's probably accountability. Holding each other accountable. I don't like to say people accountable because I understand. I'm a strong believer in thinking that it's not the people, it's the systems. Because when you have better systems, you're more efficient. And I think that's exactly what we're building and exactly what we're doing for these these customers, these clients, these people on sites, all these maintenance teams, the service managers that are of the world, and also these construction teams that are just trying to do their job and they have a common goal, but for some reason they don't communicate it well. It's like it's everywhere and it's coming all at once. And I think centralizing that aspect,
Centralizing accountability is what Renowyze does, I think.
yeah, without adding too much noise, because we're not you know pinging you irrelevancy. It's updates that matter, to keep the project moving and to stay on on task. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Awesome. All right. You went to school for marketing, and you graduated and you were green, you were ready to go. Knowing what you know today, given the wise man that you are, developing tools and the experience that you have, and if you could go back in time and talk to Jose Benitez when he was about to start his new job, what would you tell Jose Benitez?
Geez, knowing everything I know and being able to go back, I would have said to go for it a lot sooner. Build, because I was sitting on this for quite a few years, and it was always like an idea or a concept, and it's like, why is this thing? Why is it the way it is? Why can't things be better? Why doesn't something like this exist? So I think really leaning into that, and I would have said, like, go for it a lot sooner, or don't hold back, or really trust myself, and build that, and I
Take a
think
chance.
if I would have started building it sooner, or I started having conversations about this sooner, I think we would have been light years ahead. I think especially during like COVID, when a tool like that could have really been beneficial. I think we're still kind of tearing away from COVID times, but from there, I think it's taught us a lot when it comes to, you know, um, simplifying things, and at the same time, having the right plan in motion.
Uh, What advice would you give to any new marketing professional starting their career?
Lead with empathy. I think for me, on a marketing aspect, I think being personable, and always, because everything that I'm doing now, especially on a daily basis for the last year, has been like real, and exactly what I want to do. So I think leaning with empathy, and just being the authentic selves.
Awesome. Well, Jose, thank you very much for being part of IMS today. I look forward to learning more about Renowyze and getting to know you better. But thank you very much for being part of IMS.
Yeah, thank you, Ricardo. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate your time, and looking forward to continuing the conversation.
Awesome. Take care.
You too.
Thanks for listening to Insight Marketing Success, where marketing knowledge meets real-world experience from vision to execution.